I actually had this experience happen to myself. To make a long story short, there were a lot of unresolved issues between my mother and I when she passed. And she passed in my early 20s. At that time, I wasn't quite awakened. I was still kind of living in the 3D world. And as I began to awaken, I had a lot of experiences with other family members coming into my dreams, even visiting me in real life. My father passed when I was in my 40s, and he came to visit me constantly, but to really see if I was okay. But my mother had never come, and it had been, 15 years, 20 years. I didn't ever have any contact with her from the afterworld, and I just didn't understand why she never came to see me. When I started my mediumship program, I'm still trying to contact her, nothing. But when I would participate in the practice circles where we practice mediumship on each other people would see her and they're like, man, they would describe my mother and they would say she's with you, and I still couldn't feel it because there were still those unresolved issues between her and I. It wasn't until I was in the shamanic program and I was able to release a lot of that pain and I guess regret and bitterness that I felt towards her, that I was finally able to see her. And I have a wonderful story that I want to share because she used to come to me when she started coming to me during that time when I was just before the north direction where we deal with our ancestors. And she started coming to me as a cardinal. And one day, just before I went into the shamanic week-long practice for the north direction, I had this experience where I walked out and there was hundreds of cardinals, and it's that's just not even practical or real, right? That you would see hundreds of red cardinals on the trees, and I could, I feel that was Mom and all my ancestors. So it left me stunned. I couldn't even take a picture because I'm just this isn't even real, but it was real, right? And now she comes as a cardinal to other family members, and so does that line in our family. And it's so great because I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, why is this cardinal constantly following me? What happened to my brother? He's like, this cardinal is here every day. And when he was starting to go through some changes, and I'm like, that's our Mom. She's letting you know that she's with us or with you. So, sometimes it takes a lot of time. So if you haven't felt anything, I suggest, getting over the grief, getting over the trauma. And sometimes that's what it takes in order to feel them, because we have that block otherwise.